Hello everyone, welcome to the Witching Hour. If you like this video, please subscribe and click the bell icon. This is your spoiler warning. I'm about to get into A Grain of Truth from the book The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This story has some serious, dark, twisted undertones of Beauty and the Beast. Let's get to it. Geralt went through the woods with his horse, Roach. He saw a flock of black birds circling around in one area, so he knew that something or someone was dead. He went to investigate. He found two dead bodies. One was the body of a young woman. She had a blue rose pinned to her dress and bite marks on her neck. The other one was a man that appeared to be an armorer. He surmised that he must be the girl's father. He had been struck from behind, and the wolves had gotten to him. He decided it was not an attack by a werewolf, Leshy, Kikamora, or a viper. Geralt became more curious and headed in the direction he believed the pair came from. Something spooked Roach, and the Witcher had to calm him with the sign he does with his hands. Geralt knew he was being followed. He turned around to see a girl with pale skin and enormous black eyes. When he approached her, she ran away into the forest. The horse became anxious again, and Geralt had to do the sign once more. They came to a gate that opened on its own, and cautiously went inside, where they found an estate that was not properly cared for. Geralt found roses that matched the one that was on the dead girl's dress. All at once, the doors and shutters flew open, and a monster charged at him. The creature was humanoid, and dressed in clothes which, though tattered, were of good quality, and not lacking in stylish and useless ornamentation. His human form, however, reached no higher than the soiled collar of his tunic, for above it loomed a gigantic, hairy, bear-like head with enormous ears, a pair of wild eyes, and terrifying jaws full of crooked fangs in which a red tongue flickered like flame. The monster demanded that Geralt leave, but Geralt called his bluff and requested an invitation to the house instead. The creature obliged him. The inside of the house was clean, but run down. The house obeyed the creature's commands, and he was happy to show that fact off. Geralt acted unimpressed, which surprised the creature. The two sat down at a table to eat the meal that his enchanted house had prepared. They exchanged pleasantries, and the creature said his name was Nivellen. Geralt inquired about his situation, but Nivellen denied knowing how it happened. He pointed to the portraits across the room to show Geralt what he looked like prior to becoming a monster. When Geralt was able to see the portraits in the darkness, Nivellen realized he may not exactly be human. Geralt explained that he was a witcher. He also told him that he knew that a spell had been placed on him and that he might be able to undo it. Nivellen refused, which shocked Geralt. The monster explained how the curse came to be. His friends talked him into raping a priestess. She spat in his face and said that I was a monster in human skin, that I'd be a monster in a monster skin, something about love, blood. He couldn't recall the rest. He recounted that after a few days the curse came true. When he changed, he panicked and killed servants. The people that were able ran away. Even his cat ran away. Everything and everyone deserted him, so he started breaking everything in the house. For a long time, whenever a stranger would happen by, he would tell the house to close the shutters and the doors. One day, a stranger was stealing a rose from his aunt's rose bush. They were special blue roses from Nazaire. He gave the man an ultimatum: your daughter or your life. The man explained that his daughter was only a child. The monster felt sorry for him and loaded his bag with riches. A couple weeks later, after word had spread, another man brought his daughter and a bag. They agreed that Nivellen could keep the daughter for 1 year. He continued to make these deals with merchants year after year. He gave up on the fairy tale that a virgin's kiss would cure the curse. He decided he was content with things just the way they were. Geralt asked Nivellen if he had someone living with him now. Nivellen became upset and said, I think that in principle I ought to insult you, take you by the neck and throw you down the stairs. Do you know why? Because you treat me like a dimwit. I notice how you've been cocking your ears and glancing at the door. You know perfectly well that I don't live alone. Am I right? Geralt admitted that the creature was right. He tried to inquire further about the girl, but Nivellen did not wish to answer. Geralt took the hint and told Nivellen that he'd be on his way. The Witcher offered his assistance once more, and although Nivellen seemed interested for a moment, he turned it down. The creature told Geralt about bad dreams he had been having and was concerned that he might be going out at night while he sleeps and hurting people. Geralt let him know it was a possibility. They discussed the fact that the woman he's living with might be a Rusalka. A Rusalka is a female entity that lives near water. It's said that they sing songs to men and then drown them. Most of them are blonde-headed, though. Geralt and his horse leave. They go out into the forest and spend the night by the fire. The next morning, Roach was acting strange again. Geralt did the sign again to calm him, but it got him thinking because the previous day Nivellen told him that animals love him, and sure enough, Roach liked him, but the horse did not like something about his house. He rode back to Nivellen's estate. He heard a song in a language he did not understand, and then he saw her. She was clinging to the back of the dolphin in the dried-up fountain, embracing the moss-overgrown stone with her tiny hands. So pale they seemed transparent. Beneath her storm of tangled black hair shone huge, wide-open eyes the color of anthracite. Anthracite happens to be the color of coal. He approached her, but left a little distance in between them. He slowly drew his sword. "You're so like a Rusalka that you could deceive anyone. All the more as you're a rare bird, black-haired one. But the horses are never mistaken. They recognize creatures like you instinctively and perfectly. What are you?" "I think you're a Mula, or an Alpor. An ordinary vampire couldn't come out in the sun." He had figured out her game. She wanted to rule the forest with Nivellen. Killing at will. She was turning him into her own personal murderer. She wanted to enslave his mind. But it hadn't happened yet. Through the process of elimination, he realized that she was a Bruxa. They are highly intelligent vampires. He knew that she liked birds, and that was a common trait with them. When he confronted her, she let out a scream. The wave of sound hit the Witcher like a battering ram, depriving him of breath, crushing his ribs, piercing his ears and brain with thorns of pain. Flying backward, he just managed to cross his wrist in the sign of a heliotrope. The spell cushioned some of his impact with the wall, but even so, the world grew darker, and the remainder of his breath burst from his lungs in a groan. Verena changed her form into a huge black bat and charged at Geralt. He was having difficulty hitting her with his sword, but she was having no trouble wounding him. She swiped his cheek with her talon and hit his neck with her wing. She morphed back into her humanoid form and howled loudly. They continued their battle, and he finally struck a blow with his sword. Nivellen stumbled out of the mansion, yelling for Verena. He tried to help the Witcher. He took a pole and shoved it in between her breasts. She was pulling the post into herself in order to get to Nivellen. It was a typical manipulative relationship. If I can't have you, no one will. She tried to bite his neck, but the Witcher got to him just in time and cut off her head. The curse was broken, but Nivellen did not understand how. There's a grain of truth in every fairy tale, love and blood. They both possess a mighty power. Wizards and learned men have been racking their brains over this for years, but they haven't arrived at anything except that. It has to be true love. If you'd like to see more content, please subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.